Hey guys, welcome to the first annual Chattanooga 10-hour adventure race. Appreciate all you guys for signing up for this. It's race week. Everything's in place and good to go. So I just wanted to kind of make a video. You should have gotten an email first thing with this link to this video, so hopefully you're seeing it via that. I'm also going to post it on the website and Facebook page. First things first, I would like for everyone, and I mentioned in the email, to reply to the email, just so I know that you got the email with the information. I don't want somebody showing up on race day going, I didn't get this. And I would like for you guys to watch the video. I'll go over some details. Obviously, if you're not watching the video, then you're not going to know that. Okay, so enough of that. But yeah, please just reply. We don't have that many racers, so you're not going to flood my inbox. Again, welcome. Thank you. You guys, you're going to have fun. Weather's going to be better than it has been. So yeah, thumbs up. Okay. Details. First off, the schedule. Saturday morning, parking opens at 6:30 a.m. Don't get there before that. We don't have that many racers. You're not going to get a pre-mode parking spot or anything like that. But we got some stuff to do. I think they're going to kind of open up the building at 6 o'clock for us. You've got the parking instructions in there, where to go. I'll have. As you enter Covering College, there'll be this ghetto sign directing you up onto the road. Just take the road all the way up to the top to the baseball fields, and we'll be set up there. So yeah, don't get there early. It's okay if you get a couple minutes early, but there's you can get your gear set up and everything, but we'll have somebody there all day unless there's some massive emergency we need to take care of. As a college, it's got security that comes through all the time. You'll be able to leave your stuff, your car's open. I don't think you'll have any issues with that, and we'll have somebody there. I know it's going to be hot. We have the inside of the building, which is air conditioned. You're more than welcome if you want. Once we kind of open up the registration or before the race start, if you wanted to have a cooler or something like that, you wanted to put in the building, if there's something good in there, I might eat it. I don't know, but I'll try not to. But you're more than welcome to put it in there. We got bathrooms inside, so yeah, we should be able to accommodate you for that, so you don't have to let it sit in your car all day. So hopefully it'll be cold when you get done. Okay, 7 a.m. Check in and maps, and you'll get your race packet. And be ready by 7:50. So 10 till 8, we'll have a quick meeting. Only one person on each team needs to show up for that. Really just last minute questions and a couple of just details if there's something that I think you should know. But it should be literally 4 or 5 minutes, and then you'll have time to get last minute details done and be at the start line at 8 a.m. The start's going to have a few options. Details will be given at check-in, so be prepared for anything. Essentially, we're just breaking teams up, but it's also a little bit of a challenge, a puzzle, if you will. It's not a physical puzzle, don't worry about it. But don't sweat it. It's just really to break teams up and to get your brains working early. Your packet it'll be this big Ziploc, which, by the way, you can use to keep your maps dry. I mean, you're not paddling, so it's not that big of a deal, but if we do get rain, then this may be useful, so keep it with you. Inside we'll have maps, which I'm not going to show you today. A copy of these instructions that I'll go over here in a minute. So yeah, you don't need to, I attached the racer instructions PDF, and you don't need to make a copy of it. You'll get a waterproof copy of it on race day. So inside of that, and we'll go over the rules and such, and what you'll be looking for. But you will have 2 race numbers, one for each teammate. Small, simple, put it on your pack or on the back of your front of your shirt, something where we can see it all the time. Back of your pack is preferable if you're wearing a pack. You'll get a punch card with all the CPs on it. We'll talk about that in a minute. You're also going to get this little waterproof packet that you'll put your phone or any or GPS watches that are in an AR mode like Garmin's. And I also got a bunch of safety pins in there. Okay, so that's what you're going to get, as well as the maps. So the race instructions, let's just go over those real quick. Hold up. Okay, went through the top of it is the schedule, which I just went through for the race start. Race finishes at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Awards at 6:30. And by the way, these are the awards. Birdhouses. We wanted something a little bit unique, and we've got some ideas for next year to make something maybe possibly even better. So they're very nice birdhouses. So hopefully you can use them. And again, the awards: elite, which is co-ed teams of 2, top 3 get awards, and then the top all male and top all female get awards. Okay, so scoring. What this is all about, for you guys who have done adventure races before, you know how it works, but for those of you where it's your first time, it's teams of 2, complete as much of the course as possible in the allotted time. So you got from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 10 hours. Don't be late, trust me. And you can do as much or as little of the course as possible. So don't try to clear it. All right? Very few teams are going to clear the course. We can talk about that a little bit later. Teams will be ranked by checkpoints retrieved, net any penalties, and we'll talk about rules and penalties, and then by time to the finish. So if you finish with the same number of CPs as another team, but the other team finished first, they're going to be ranked ahead of you, okay? All CPs are optional, okay, and worth 1 point. CP retrieval means finding the corresponding orienteering flag on the course. So you'll get maps with purple circles. We'll go over that in a minute. With a CP number on it, right? That CP number will relate to a flag that is hanging out in the woods. I just wanted to grab my punch card here real quick. Flipping around. Okay, so this is going to be hanging from a tree. I'm trying to get my video up here. Okay, this is going to be hanging from a tree, all right? Orange and white flag, all right? And at the bottom of that, it's going to have this thing, all right? So this is a hole punch. See right here. Sorry, not good using the camera. All right. So you're going to say this is CP10, whatever. Then you're going to find the 10 box on your punch card, and you're going to put your punch. Probably do it this way, maybe better. All right, into 10, and you're going to just click on through it. Right, you're just going to push through it, and it's going to make holes in this punch card. All right, and you can see in here the pins in the punch are a unique combination that is going to be different for every flag. All right, so you're going to go find this in the woods or off the trail or on the road or whatever, and you're going to punch the corresponding number. All right, with that hole punch, and that tells us you've been there, right? You've been there, you got the right one. Been there, done that. Teams will be ranked in 3 competitive divisions. We talked about that: co-ed, all female, all male. And there will be a non-competitive category that has no subcategories and won't be no awards for that. So folks who just want to come out and play. Okay, first off, safety, guys. Be safe out there. It's gonna be hot. Talked about in some of my notes from the field. How to deal with heat issues, but just Google it real quick. But drink plenty of water, electrolytes. We will have water at all the TAs and at the start finish, and we'll have ice as well. So hopefully, you guys will stay cool during the race. Always assist other racers in an emergency. We're all, we're out there, we're amateurs. We're just playing in the woods, right? You will be awarded if somebody needs some assistance. Keep track of your time. Let us know. We'll talk to the other team, and we'll compensate you for your time. All time compensation, by the way, and we'll talk about some other instances of this, will be added to your to the finish time. So probably not the best way to state that, but the finish time is at 6 o'clock. But if you take 20 minutes to help another team, we're going to extend your finish time to 6:20 because we don't want to penalize you and give you less time to find all the checkpoints. So we'll work it out, right? So, but safety first. Take care of everybody out there. My phone number is on there. Obviously, if it's an emergency, call 911, right? You're never going to be too far from the road or the trail. Call 911, call me, we'll get it taken care of. Okay, if a team or racer cannot continue, then the team should make their way to the nearest TA to retire, then contact the RD for transportation. A solo team member may continue on the course, but they'll be unranked, okay? So if one of your teammates just can't go any farther, whatever, we're going to try to encourage you to keep going, but at least get to the TA, right? We're not going to medevac you because you're tired or hungry. So get to the TA, then we'll work it out. All right. Okay. Rules. This is a team race, guys. Stay together. Stay within 100 feet of each other, unless otherwise stated in the instructions. There'll be 2 parts in the race where you don't have to, but you can separate. So I did mention as a not required gear, but suggested gear for everybody to have a compass. Probably a good idea. Okay. Teams cannot receive outside assistance, publicly available facilities, stores, restrooms. There's really no stores. There's one store that kind of you can go out of your way to, but anyway. But anything that's publicly available that you and I can go to any day, that's fair game. There are pit toilets at the TAs. There'll be obviously at the finish line. There's bathrooms. You can use those anytime, right? But at the transition area, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, at the TAs where we're supplying water, we're supplying ice, you cannot use that except when you're transitioning in the TA. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So you can't have outside assistance. You can't have your friends, or your wife or whatever come along and give you a nice cold Coke, somewhere along the course. All right, you have to be self-sustained. You're on your own out there. Okay. Teams must follow instructions on hole punches at some CPs. Instructions must be followed explicitly to get credit for the CP. These instructions are intended to enforce the 100-foot rule compliance, so stay together. There are several where you're going to have to do something, and both of you are going to have to do something, and you'll have to prove that you did something later. Just stay together, guys. Now, if a checkpoint, you have to be within 100 feet of each other. If the checkpoint is just off the trail a little bit, that's fine. You don't both have to go walk to the thing. If you can see the flag, then the other person doesn't need to walk with you and hold hands the whole time. All right. But there will be a couple of instances where you might get a little bit apart, and your teammate goes, "Hey, wait a minute, we got to do something here at this checkpoint. Come on down," sort of thing. So it's just I'm a stickler for the rules. I see too much of the one guy hiking up to the top of the hill, the other teammates sitting down there twiddling their thumbs. It's no bueno. Not going to happen in this race as much as I can enforce it. Okay. Human-powered means of transportation, no e-bikes, all right? On a trek leg, you're on foot. You can't take your bike on a trek leg. On a bike leg, red blinky on, please. Have it on. There is a road section. Try to keep it to a minimum. I've got some big ass signs that I'll put out there that will mark and Susie, also Susie, my wife, and I will be out patrolling that area along the road. It's just a connected out section. It's not that long, but we take that seriously. Please have your red blinkies on. Single file on all roads. Helmets on always. That's a no-brainer. No-brainer. So yeah, we're going to be patrolling that and making sure that you're single file, red blinky on, please. Okay. Race legs must be done in order. We'll talk about race legs. Only CPs listed for the given race leg can be retrieved during that leg. Within each leg, teams can retrieve CPs in any order unless stated otherwise in the instructions. I don't have a good example of this, but you're essentially going to have get the legs instructions with your maps. And it's got to say leg 1, bike. You have your race schematic. So the first leg, there's a prologue, then a bike section, and it'll have a number of CPs in there. So you have to do that leg first. And once you see the maps, you can't really do the legs out of order. I guess maybe theoretically, but it wouldn't make any sense. So do them in order, but within each leg, if there's 5 CPs, you can do those set 5, 1 through 5, say, in any order you want. You can do 3, 4, 2, 1, whatever. Also, I will say that on the maps, I number the CPs on a single map from west to east. Okay, just sort of a more traditional numbering system. So in other words, you'll see the checkpoints kind of going all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm not some race directors will suggest a route, so they'll number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in a loop or something like that. I do it from west to east too. I don't want to make any suggestions, right? This is up to you. This race, you'll have plenty of route choices, and there'll be some. It's not going to be as simple as like the counterclockwise or the clockwise loop. So I kind of really wanted to try to do that as much as possible. So I'm not going to make any suggestions as to like what your route you should take. Use your brain. Okay, teams must present a punch card to the TA personnel at each TA at the end of each leg. All right, so leg 1 bike, you're going to go to TA 1, and there's 5 CPs along the way. Once you get to that transition area, there'll be a person there. You turn in your punch card. You'll have the same 1 punch card throughout the entire race. So this has got all the CPs, right? But you need to turn it in each time at each TA, all right? And they have an app, and they're going to, this way I can kind of keep up with where people are at because we don't have trackers. But that's number 1. But number 2 is also there'll be sections, and this is what I was talking about with the TAs earlier. There'll be sections of the course where you don't have to, but you could pass by the TA, right? On your way out to some more CPs on a particular leg. You cannot get water or ice, okay, at that TA, right? That TA is a transition area. You're transitioning from one leg to another. So you can't stop and get some more water, or I don't want people planning on carrying just as little water as they need to get to that TA area and then continuing on the same leg. So that transition area is to transition from one leg to another, right? So once you get in there, they're gonna get your punch card, and if you want to transition, that's fine. If you want to skip the other CPs on that leg, that's fine. They're going to mark, those TA people are going to mark those off, and you can't go back and get them on foot or later on, right? So each leg, you get all the CPs you want to get within that leg, and then we'll check those off, and you'll move on to the next leg. So TAs are transition, right? Okay, and that may make a little more sense when you get the maps. Only maps given by race staff can be used. You can't bring your own maps. There's no reason to. The maps I created, I put in all the trail designations in terms of colors, and everything's on there. There's no reason to use anything else. Once you check in and get your maps, you can't use your phones to scout the course unless you're a non-competitive category, which is allowed to use their phones. You're not going to gain any knowledge from it. Like I said, everything's on the map. Just a general rule. Okay. Teams in competitive categories must keep their cell phones and any other GPS-based devices not in AR mode. Garmin watches have an AR mode. We'll check that before the race if you have a Garmin. In the sealed packet given at race check-in. That's that little white packet that I gave you. And so just at the race, the pre-race meeting, I'm going to tell everybody you can start your, start your tracker, start your, your Strava, whatever you're using. If you want to bring a little Garmin device, whatever, you can start that and then put it in the packet, and we'll just check that right before the race start. And again, I can't prevent anybody. You can sneak something in. I'm really trying to just kind of reinforce the rules because we see the cheating all the time, and it's just drives me nuts. Okay, so please play along. Each racer must have the race number provided at check-in, which I showed those, visible on their body or packed during the race. Just put it on the back of your pack with the safety pins. Teams must visit each TA in the order given to be ranked as an official finisher. So to finish the race. You don't even have to get any of the CPs. Just go from one TA to the other and be done with it. Hopefully you get at least a few CPs along the way. Teams may not use the TAs unless transitioning to the next leg. Bathroom use, okay, because the bathrooms are public bathrooms at the TAs. And I've beaten that horse enough, okay? No littering. TAs will have garbage bags, so any of your goo packets and stuff that you'd be able to put in that. Required gear, I mean, went through that many a time. Race instructions, they'll be provided to you at race check-in. Everything else is, you know, I've gone over, or it's pretty self-explanatory. Bike repair kit, whatever, guys. Just, you know, be able to change a tire. You're never going to be too far from the road, or the TAs. There's one road section that the only time that, you know, there's a little bit of distance, so you'd be able to walk it out if, you know, push comes to shove. But you know, be able to change a tire. It's a good skill to have. Okay, maps, which are provided at the race check-in. I have a map example here. You know, so these purple circles here, CP12, CP5. The middle of that is where this thing will be hanging, right? They'll have different scales. So I think it's like 1 to 12, 1 to 25, and you should know what a map scale is. It's essentially the area that's covered by the map. But the scales will be different. So when you're looking at the map, and by the way, the bottom of the maps have like the scale on it, like, you know, how much distance there is per, you know, tenth of a kilometer, and between, you know, tenths of miles and all that kind of stuff. So you can use the bottom of the map. It'll tell you what the scale is, and also give you that reference as well, that index. Contour lines, the brown things, forbidden. Okay, this area here, this black polygon, is a forbidden area. It's private property, essentially, right? I tried my best to design the course such that it's challenging, but also doesn't encourage you to go on any private property, and doesn't encourage you to take any forbidden routes. But I'm always amazed at what people will do. I put in the forbidden areas where I thought they you know, possibly would go into. Okay, but you really shouldn't be any temptation to do so. So don't do it. All right. Illegal routes. So you have this road down here with black X's through it. You can't use that road. You can't be on the side of it. You can't cross that road there. If there's a break in those, obvious break in those black X's, that means that you can cross there, right? But like in this example, it means just don't go anywhere near that road, all right? Don't go on the shoulder right away. Don't do it. Again, there's no reason for you to go on any of those forbidden routes, but don't do it. Okay, red lines, foot trails, and you have blue, green, and black trails. Green is beginner, easy. Intermediate trails are blue. Black is expert level. I will say that there's no, like, you're not going to be on any like big downhill hucking off of, rock sort of downhill or black trails. These are all cross-country trails that just like some technical rocky sections you'd be able to walk your bike through. So don't think, oh my God, I'm not going to go for that CP because it's near a black trail. Don't worry about it. You might not be as fast, but anyway, nothing's like too crazy technical where you couldn't walk your bike through a section, right? Roads of the parallel lines and dash lines are unimproved roads or unimproved trails, like right here. Okay, penalties. Lose 1 CP for late arrival at the finish, and 1 CP for every 5 minutes past the cutoff time. All right, so 6 o'clock cutoff time at 6 o'clock and 1 second, you lose a CP. For 6 o'clock, 6:05 and 1 second, you lose another CP. 6:10, so on. Don't be late. Lose 2 CPs for breaking any race rule given above. Guys, the rules, just don't break the rules. I'm going to be fair and even. I'm not going to like apply certain rules to some people and not to others. But if I feel it's egregious, if I feel you're trying to get away with something, you're going to get hit. All right. Other than that, you'll probably get a warning. Half of these things here are for your safety. So just follow the rules and just don't test me. 2 CPs for using an illegal route or going in the forbidden area. That one I'm definitely gonna, even if it's by mistake. Sorry, you know, this can compromise the race in years to come, and all that kind of stuff. Get us in big trouble, right? 1 CP for missing required gear. 1 CP for loss of punch card and for each additional map required during the race. So if you lose your maps or lose your punch card, right, we're going to dock you a CP. We'll have extra maps, and I'll talk about what you can do if you lose your punch card here in a minute, but you're going to get docked for that, all right? These things are sacred in adventure racing. Keep track of them. All other penalties and modifications at the discretion of RD. So, yeah, like I said, I'll try to be fair and even across the enforcement, but just follow the rules. Done. Okay, situations. If you punch the card in the wrong box, so like I punched, what does I say here? CP3 in the CP4 box. Like, oh man, I punched the wrong one. Just write in there the CP3, and then you can use CP3 for the CP4 one when you get there, and just write in 4, just so when you get to that TA personnel, because they'll have a master of these, and they're going to be comparing them, and they're going to say, oh, that's the wrong punch. So just write it in with your required Sharpie or whatever permanent marker, so we know what to do. All right, you lose a map, TA staff can replace it, 1 CP penalty for each replaced map. Loss of a punch card results in a 1 CP penalty. We'll be recording, and this is one of the advantages of every time you go to TA, we'll be recording how many checkpoints you have. So if you lost your punch card, you get everything up to that point, and just use the side of your map as your punch card and just write the number in for the rest of the race, so we can know that you punched stuff. Of course, anything in between when you lost it, when you start punching your map, you're not going to get credit for it. But yeah, don't lose it. Okay, if you can't find a flag, guys, these things are going to be locked on trees. They're going to be in the woods. They're highly unlikely, but it happens. It just happens. It's amazing sometimes what happens out there. First off, and you know that in some of the videos I put out, that the flagging tape, the orange flagging tape with the CP number on it, near where the flag is. So that's where I went out and marked stuff, so that when I go out and put flags up, I don't have to double check my GPS and everything like that. I still do. I get paranoid about it. But that's the backup, right? So if you can't find the flag, you're sure you're in the right spot, look for that flagging tape. If Bubba decides he wants an orange and white flag in his garage, he's probably not going to take the flagging tape down with him. But so you should see flagging tape if you don't see the actual flag. But if for whatever reason stuff happens and you think, I know I'm absolutely in the right spot, I would go back and confirm as much as you can. Then give me a call, right? And mark your time of when you started looking for it, and we'll compensate you for that if that flag is truly missing. But if I go out there, and I'm going to go out there with a spare flag and try to replace what was missing, if I find it in the spot it's supposed to be in, then you're going to get hit with 2 CP penalties. So be absolutely sure. And of course, when you call me, you probably should. And by the way, you will have coverage pretty much everywhere in the course. There'll be a couple of little holes and stuff you might lose signal. But anyway, I'll have you send me the GPS coordinate of where you're at, and to confirm. But don't do it. They're going to be there just in case. That's the way you should handle it. All right. If you witness a team breaking the rules, report them to TA volunteers and to me at the finish. You will remain anonymous. I'm not going to rat you out, but we take the rules very seriously. And old school adventure racing is about self-enforcement and everybody trying to keep everybody above board. Okay, talked enough about all the rules. Holler if you have any questions about that stuff. Okay, fun stuff. Teams will receive a playing card at the start of the race. We got several fun things, I think. Fun to me. You'll receive a playing card, and then at each TA you'll receive another playing card, just random playing card, and the best poker hand at the end will receive a free entry to next year's race. And I know that teams don't often all the time stay together. We'll work it out, right? We'll give half credit or whatever. We'll work it out, but that should be pretty fun. We also got some swag that would be given away, so I might do it on poker cards. I might just do random pick at the awards, depends on what I can come up with. Okay, Drills. Recommended gear, we talked about that. First aid kit, electrolytes, really basic stuff, guys. Yeah, I got that. Sorry. Oh, so my advice to you is when you get your maps, you'll get a legs instructions. I always write the clues, somewhere on the map, so you have to go back and forth between the two. So if it says drainage or, hilltop or whatever, just, write that with your permanent marker on the map near the CP, so you don't have to go back and forth between the two. Yeah, map work is, I thought about going into that, but it's already too long of a video. There's plenty of stuff out there for that. I talked about CPs being from west to east. Don't go for all the CPs. I think only less than a handful of teams, probably 3 that I could think of, will be able to clear the course. Be judicious about which ones you go for, right? Don't try to, don't blow yourself up early in the race, and you're going to be slow at the end. So the last leg, and I'll talk about this at the race too, probably going to take you about 30 minutes at the least. Well, not at the least. It depends on your speed. But the good thing is that you'll be going past, so leg 1 and leg 5 will be going past the same areas. So you'll see what you have to do on the way back, right, at the beginning of the race. So that'll give you a good idea how long you need to save for that last leg, so you won't be late. Play to your strengths, strong on the bike, clear those, get the Trek ones, right? There's lots of CPs at the end. If you looked at your schematic, you'll know that the amount of mileage and elevation per checkpoint, get there. Don't skip those. All right. The theme of this one, and you probably know the areas that we're going to, is called "What's Mined is Ores." Hopefully you get that. But you will be going into a lot of old mining areas. Coal mining was prominent in the mid to late 1800s all the way through the mid 1900s, and I think 5 of the CPs are relics of the mine past. So hopefully you enjoy that a little bit of history. No going on the course the week before. Just got flags set out. Don't go out there hunting flags. You probably won't find them anyway. Don't go on the course. Yeah, I talked about verifying, or just send me an email just saying, hey, you got the email with the information on it. And that's about it, guys. So hit me up with any questions. Otherwise, I will see you on Saturday morning, bright and early, and we're going to have some fun. It's type 2 fun, but we're going to have some fun. Later.